But Bill, why don't you give some of our viewers a little bit more background on the company, and then we'll jump into the questions.
Well, as you mentioned, the business started by my grandfather in 1925. So we're coming up on 100 years, which is just, when you think about it, our business has been around for 100 years. And it really started with his father, who was an immigrant from Russia, who came to New York in the late 1880s with nothing in his pocket. He came through Castle Clinton, which was in Battery Park, because that was the immigration depot at that time. And he started on the Lower East Side. He left Russia because he couldn't do two things. He couldn't practice his religion, he was Jewish, and he couldn't own real estate because he was Jewish. Oh. And he came over to seek economic and religious freedom, a very similar theme that goes on in our country today. And it was the American dream for him. And he had a dry goods store, and he started with nothing. And he always wanted to own real estate. And one day, his attorney came to him and said, "Louis," his name was Louis Rudinsky, "I've got a building for you." And a few months before, John D. Rockefeller had come into his store, dry goods store, making sure that Louis was selling his kerosene. There was an oil war going on, and Mr. Rockefeller would leave his office at 26 Broadway in Lower Manhattan and take his horse and carriage uptown. And he stopped on Christie Street where Louis had his store. And my great-grandfather asked him, "Mr. Rockefeller, first of all, I guess I'm selling your kerosene, but where do you live?" Because I live on 54th Street. So fast forward a year or so, and the attorney came, "I've got a site, a building for you." He says, "Where is it?" And he goes, "On 54th Street." He goes, "I'm going to buy it." And the guy goes, "Well, don't you want to see it?" He goes, "No. If 54th Street's good for Mr. Rockefeller, it's good for Louis Rudinsky." What Louis did not understand, though, was Mr. Rockefeller lived on West 54th between 5th and 6th, and this was on East 54th between Lex and 3rd, and it was literally on the wrong side of the tracks because Park Avenue was a open cut for the Metro North and Grand Central Railway, and but he bought it anyway. This was in 1905. In 1907, there was a terrible market crash, famous crash where J.P. Morgan brought all the banks together and saved the U.S. economy, but all the tenants moved out. So Louis brought with his wife Rachel and his 9 children. He had 9 children. One of them, my grandfather Sam, and he moved the whole family into the building. His children went to public school around the corner on 52nd Street, where our headquarters are right now. And on Louis' deathbed, he turned to Sam and said, "Sam, never sell this property, actually buy more." And Sam did. We have a 400,000 square foot office building on 54th and an apartment building on 55th Street. So that's sort of the start of our business. Sam was really the leader of his siblings and the motivating factor in the development of Rudin Management Company. And I am fortunate to, along with my cousin Eric, be co-chairman, and I am the CEO. Eric's the president. And even really more fortunate to have both of my children, Samantha and Michael, in our business in senior management roles. And so we're a multi-generational business. Wow. We focus on commercial and residential properties in New York City. And that's a little of my background.